boop.
Why does your hat say knives?
It's a friend's band. That's actually their name of their band.
Do you
Hmm.
like this friend?
Yeah, no, he's awesome. He's awesome.
Okay. Everyone check out the band Knives, whatever. Um, Welcome back to Slashers Podcast, your favorite horror podcast about your favorite horror media with me, Mikey, and in alphabetical order, Alpha Lance and Beta Aid.
That is definitely not true.
Why is it
Ah,
Lance
true?
Lance is not an alpha.
He's not even a
whoa!
beta.
Wow.
Welcome back, everybody. Valentine's Day, by this time that you're listening, will have passed. We hope everybody had a lovely, lustful Valentine's Day, even if it was by
Ooh.
yourself with a flower or a fleshlight or something, or a flesh jack, apparently, because there's a difference, even though there's not. But when you try to buy one, the guy at the front counter makes it awkward. He's like, "Hey, just so you know, this is the gay version." And I'm like, "Ew."
Oh
I love
my
the
God.
it's way too on point. You're like going, not that I've relived this at all, not one
Yeah,
point.
this is just hypothetically speaking.
Lots of
Uh, this didn't happen 10 years ago whenever I bought one, apparently. Um, Anywho, how are you guys doing?
Well. Yes. Oh, Super Bowl just happened. We're recording the day after that.
Super Bowl, that sounds like getting high at Lance's house, right?
I mean, it could, but go for my mom and her Phillies. Yay,
Oh,
sports.
your mom was watching it?
No, she was against it, but then like I was kind of watching a little bit of it, but I walked by and she just kind of gives that facial expression of how are they doing? Because I guess because Trump was there, she didn't want to promote it, and I guess they took away kind of like their quote unquote woke thing because they were going to do a whole like a fight against racism and everything like that. But because Trump was going to be there, all of a sudden, they couldn't do it or weren't allowed to or were asked to refrain from doing something like that. I think that was what it was. And my mom was like, well, fuck that. I'm not watching this bullshit. Also, it was on Fox, so she definitely wasn't going to watch it. So,
Well, no, I mean
come
Kendrick
on.
Lamar's entire performance was a fuck you to Trump. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying that other people didn't step in and fight the battle that should be fought. And also, I think he got booed when he came on camera, and then they took him off like immediately.
Trump?
Like, yeah, oh yeah, like 100%. And it was
they
just,
showed him first. I mean, I was booing.
Yeah.
yeah, and like most people should, but it's probably the most hated president ever. I would hope and imagine.
No, well, if that was the case, he wouldn't
I
you
mean, he
know.
won, so who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we're the who, no, that's not appropriate. Maybe we're the idiots who are the ones that are wrong. Who knows?
Hey, I mean, if he does some good changes, all for it. But at the same time, I'm not very hopeful for some of his actions. So there that is.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Aid? What have you been up to?
I did watch the Super Bowl, but I did not care because I don't like football. I made Jello shots yesterday. I was frantically running around like a chicken with my head cut off all weekend. I almost forgot to post our episode. It was like a whole thing.
Hmm.
And I remembered literally as I'm putting my head down on the pillow at 9:30 last night, finally done watching that fucking whatever nonsense because I'm like, this is terrible. And I was like, oh shit. So I'm back up on my like at my desk at 10 o'clock last night, posting today's episode. So if it's a little raw, I probably would have taken out the Lisa Jones comment. Sorry, Leslie.
Oh, he liked it.
But Lance can learn from his mistakes.
And
Well,
it
again,
wasn't Lisa Jones, it was Lisa Thurman.
Oh,
yeah,
Lisa Thurman.
right.
I don't know. I listen. I'm like, look. Oh God, sorry, Lisa Thurman. Why did I say Jones? Where did Jones come? I don't know. Anyways,
But
oh no, because I was yeah. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I got it done. So we're here we are. And even though I didn't get to see the movie today, I went to go see the movie that we're talking about today right before we recorded. So I was able to squeeze everything in and everything's good. Yay.
All right. And the movie
Mhm.
that we are discussing today, fresh off the press, everybody, is. Oh, wait. Boop, 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 boop. We forgot horror news. I only have one story, really. And it's that. So, as we know, Robert Eggers has just completed or filmed and released Nosferatu. And his next foray is going to be a werewolf. And he has said this is the darkest thing I have ever written, which
Mm.
I don't know what that means. So he's giving us his take on a werewolf tale coming up, and apparently it's going to be really fucked up. I wouldn't usually care, but Wolfman left a really bad taste in my mouth, so maybe this will clear that out.
Oh, yeah. I still haven't seen that, but like you and amongst other people have definitely chimed in more times than not to where I feel like I shouldn't even bother. I kind of want to do it just to see I can have my own point of view of it, but at the same time, I don't know, man. And half of me is like, kind of like, am I going to end up just like, just not that I'm streaming anything, but if I was,
Oh my
I would be
goodness.
probably fast forwarding most of the movie. It seemed like, or at least getting past certain parts. You know what I mean? Where unfortunately, you guys had to see it in a theater, maybe not have that luxury. So, yeah.
It's just here's the thing, everybody. It's not unbearable to watch. It's not torturous to watch. It's a decent movie, but it's kind of like The Strangers. Like, why are you attaching this run-of-the-mill film to like a Titan name? Like, Strangers is a huge name in the slasher genre. The Wolfman is a huge name in the werewolf like genre. Like, and honestly, there's that Kit Harington werewolf movie that came out that looks almost exactly like this new Wolfman. I It could have been called something else and I would have had no connection to Wolfman. So it was just pointless. Everything you think is going to happen happens. It's just disappointing.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Hey, did you watch it or no?
Wolfman, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
Wolfman.
I did. So I'm sorry. I'm dealing with family drama, so I was just looking down. But anyways, yes, I did watch it. I started it. So, initially I'm like laughing the whole beginning because all I can think is Stick Stickly and Mikey's meme. So that he made, which is absolutely true. And I'm not saying I dislike this actress. I do like her. I've liked her in all the other things I've seen her in. But it just did not. Everything felt forced. I didn't care for all of the extra background. I didn't think that what's his name from Girls' relationship was like the relationship he had with his daughter was weird. Like I didn't find it endearing. I think it was kind of forced. Like I just didn't feel like they had any chemistry, any of these people together. So like when
Mm.
Yeah.
things were happening to them, I didn't give a shit. And then I fell
So not a
asleep
lot
at
of
some
flow,
point. Huh?
not a lot of flow to the movie in general for both of you, or
I
just
didn't.
It's just there's a flow because it all happens in one night, which is a big
right.
difference between this movie and the previous Wolfman
Yeah,
movies. Wolfman. Uh,
Wolfman.
sorry, I'm just being real correct with my English here. Uh, but it flows. It's strange. I didn't care about the kid. I didn't care about it's too much like I'm here to protect you, you know that. It's like, yeah, duh.
Mm.
Like tell me that when I'm in danger, not like because I was standing on top of something in the street and you got mad at me. I don't know. It was weird. And I do like that guy from Girls. I don't know his name. Don't like him enough to know his name. But it's like I said, acting was fine. It was fine, but I didn't want a fine movie being
Yeah.
attached to a Wolfman movie. But
Do you think it was more writing than obviously you guys both think the acting was good, but you think it's more of the writing or just plot in general, or
it's
No, I
just predictable.
yeah, okay.
There's no creativity behind it. Like
yeah.
and also you kind of set the bar high when you make a movie like The Invisible Man, which is very different from the original Invisible Man, but still is, in my opinion, a pretty epic film. And
Right.
then you come out with this one, and it's literally every werewolf movie you've seen in the past 10 years is this movie.
I don't even know if it, and it's interesting because I'm looking at Wolfman right now. Producers, Ryan Gosling and Jason Blum, obviously. But Ryan Gosling attached himself to it. I'm just like surprised. I just don't think this was like Sam Yeager's at the beginning, and I do like him, plays the dad, the angry father. But I'm like, why is this man yelling for no reason? Like, why is he freaking out on this kid for no reason? And it's just I think they were trying to take the elements that worked so well with Invisible Man and like the abuse and, trauma, familial trauma that you have with people who are supposed to love you and take care of you. And I think you try to replicate it here. I just don't feel that it works. And like I said, with Lee Winnell, for me, it's hit or miss because I hate the Insidious movies, but I do love Saw and I do love The Invisible Man. So whatever. I think you should watch it, Lance, and
Yeah.
form your own opinion, but you'll probably, like me, you're gonna fall asleep. I know how you are, so I don't know how you're gonna get through the whole damn thing. And it's it's very disappointing. It did not surpass the greatness that was the Invisible Man, and I don't know if he's gonna be able to replicate that again with another Universal monster. And I kind of don't want him to because at this point, please stop. Like you tried,
Yeah.
you tried the second time, didn't work. Let's move on. Hmm.
Mm,
But
Yeah.
all right.
anyways,
Well,
that's me.
speaking of moving on, it's Valentine's Day, and Lance and I
Yay.
saw Companion. Aid did not, so we won't say anything about that. But Companion was my first 5-star review of this year, so if you're interested, give it a watch. I
Really?
liked it. Yeah.
Man, I
We get it, Lance. You hate women. Jesus.
I do not hate women. It's just I don't know, man.
And
It
I
just
was
felt
watching it, and I was like, actually, I hope Aid doesn't watch this movie because it can be triggering. I don't want to say anything because what if you guys don't like things ruined for you, don't watch the latest trailer that shows you everything. Stay with the initial trailer that doesn't tell you anything and leaves you like, what the fuck?
no, definitely. You're absolutely
Um,
right about that.
yeah, but when you find out what it actually is about, whether it's you saw the movie or you saw the extended trailer, it's very much a commentary of treating women like
Mm,
a thing.
Yeah,
Um,
which is, a running theme in these movies. So
my
I'm
kink.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
But
that's so great.
it's so good. Sophie Thatcher, girl, keep on doing what you're doing.
Uh,
She was amazing. Don't listen to Lance. Lance has
I
made questionable choices. Listen to his bands. But at any rate, the movie that we are discussing today is going to be Corazon Ojos, or as they say in the Navajo language, Lance.
Hard eyes.
Yes. Uh,
He had to, he had to think about it.
What are we doing? Yes.
yeah. So I just wanted to include him because he always says that we kind of downplay his Hispanic side. So I wanted to make sure that he got a shout out about translating something, even though it was incorrect with the Navajo language. But that's just me. So Hard Eyes came out 2 weeks ago, right?
February 7, yeah.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend giving it a watch. We probably won't go super heavy on spoilers here, even though there's not really much to spoil. Well, kind of. And give it a watch and then come back to us. But the team
Hmm.
that made the new Scream movies made Hard Eyes. We even have
Mason Gooding.
yeah,
Yes.
which IMDb, fix your page, please. He's not listed in the top 3 stars. Who the
Oh,
This
fuck are
movie.
these people? Alex Walker? Who the fuck is that? He played
oh,
Patrick.
Patrick is the guy at the beginning of the movie that gets the the fiance
Okay,
that
well then they must
proposes.
have listed the cast in order of appearance because I'm like, who the fuck? Olivia Holt and Mason Gooding are the main two, and Olivia Holt from Disney really hasn't done much in terms of popular movies. She did, if you've watched Disney, if you have children, there was a movie called Girl versus Monster, which has a banging theme song. I don't know if she sings, I think she sings it. It's really good. And Mason Gooding is from Scream, like all like the creators of this film as well. let's see. It also has Devon Sawa and it has Jordana Brewster. Shout out to our early 2000s and 90s kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it has anybody else noteworthy? Mm,
Mm.
I don't think so.
Who's the boss? She's from some stuff, I think, right?
Oh, she was so
The
funny. I loved her.
Yeah, she was really great as the like kind of like she reminded me of is Will and Grace, the one old rich woman from that series.
Karen.
She's not old.
She's not Karen, but I could see where you would think that, because all women are the same to you. Michaela Watkins.
Hmm. She reminds
No.
me of like what's her name? Julia Dreyfus, just like looks wise, not like I don't know, I was kind of getting that vibe from her.
Mm.
Oh, she's actually in something with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, which is funny. You hurt my feelings.
Oh, the one she's a writer, a book writer, and she hears her husband basically talk shit about her writing and how much she fucking can't stand her shit. And she hears it and she's like, "Oh my God, he's lied to me all this time. He thought said I was great at this and whatnot." And then I think she's the best friend in that, at least from the trailer I did see.
She's the
Oh,
twin
okay.
sister. Just kidding. Uh, so what we'll do is we'll just dedicate this first little quarter to like a spoiler-free review, just in case people haven't seen it, and then we'll do like a okay, warning, we're gonna spoil it. If you wanna
Turn it off.
turn it off, go watch it, and come back because it is very new. Um,
Hmm.
so Hard Eyes essentially is about a killer that comes. He's been bouncing town. What does that sound weird? He's been going from different cities and killing couples on Valentine's Day. It's like a yearly thing he does, and we see he went from Philadelphia to Seattle. This takes place in Seattle, everybody, just like The Ring.
There's
And
also Boston, I think.
Yeah,
there was a city before
Boston.
him.
Yeah, Boston, Philadelphia, and I think now Seattle.
Yeah. So even the killer doesn't want to deal with the Confederate States. So I don't blame him. Um, but if you've seen the trailer, you see what he looks like. He has some sort of weird face mask and he has these hearts that glow up, which I think is really cool. How do you guys feel about the way that the killer looks?
No, I loved it. I thought it was really cute. It's a little purgy. I'm getting a little bit purge vibes from it, but other than that, I thought it was cute, and I'm gonna be excited to see all of the mask variations that people are gonna come up with this Halloween. So, especially when they glow red, I'm like, that's so cute because it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I thought it was a little hokey with the glowing red eyes, but when you actually figure out that it's to give him night vision, I was like, oh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, I mean that and it helps with the idea that like it's practical in an actual killing sense, you know what I mean? And then if you're just gonna use the idea of what your main villainy is, basically being someone who kills people on Valentine's, even though technically the first killings happen for a wedding scenario. I guess they do it on Valentine's, so it still counts in the sense of him wanting to murder you, but technically I think he just kills people that are in love on the day of Valentine's to like make it
Well,
work
actually,
for.
you're right because he doesn't unless it started on the day of Valentine's, because
Yeah,
I would
it did.
imagine that yeah, he's killing people in or around Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
Valentine's Day adjacent.
Hmm. Well, the whole proposal takes place on Valentine's Day because the girl like wanted an entire like she basically came
Oh
up with her
God,
own proposal, like which is cringe enough.
she was unsufferable.
Oh my God, yeah, she had to go.
That was the best. I was like, she was like just lip reading what he's saying, and I'm like, oh my god, like why even have him do it? It's like
You know,
Yeah,
have
she,
he says that, but Lance is the kind of guy that would do that for someone that he likes.
I mean, if you really wanted that, I guess, sure. I mean, if you're actually in love with somebody, sure, why
Case in
not?
point.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it's kind of like just like that's so sad. Like you couldn't come up with anything yourself. Like, come on, dude.
Well,
oh, she clearly needed a man that would do all of the things that she had requested for her proposal.
she needed a sub. She was the
Yeah,
dom.
and even it's interesting because even in uh, when she's yelling at him in the on the phone when he calls her the killer, and she's like in the vineyard. And she's yelling at you messed with the wrong bride. I've been working on this towards this day my whole life and you killed him. Like, so she's more upset that her perfect proposal was all like, completely obliterated. And
I actually
then
love that. I thought I mean, I knew she wasn't gonna make it because she's the beginning kill, but I like if this was happening later on in the movie, I'd be like, I hate her. But to see her admit to the psycho nature of her activities and go against the killer, if she would have like won, I'd been like, okay, respect, because game recognized game.
Hmm.
I just like I like the fact that their songs for each other, like when they get called from each other's phones, are
Oh,
so opposite. Like hers are wedding bells, literally for his, and like his is like basically like booty call type music.
oh yeah, ooh, yeah, I forgot what it was. Oh, it
It
was
was
the
it's the pony.
riding my pony. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they die, and we meet our characters, and this what I was kind of shocked at was that this is a very cheesy movie on purpose. Like this movie is equally it made sense when Lance when did we talk about it? I feel like we talked a little bit about it, and Lance, you said that like this is very much a rom-com and a slasher at the same time.
Yeah, I mean that was like kind of my preview that I gave on YouTube,
Oh
and
yeah, that stupid little video you made. Uh,
but no, it's true though. It's like it's if you like the Hallmark Channel type stuff, you know what I mean. If you're into that, this is basically you too. Like you love those movies, but if you got that plus, I mean, in realism, you know what I mean. And maybe not. Is it Hallmark that you guys say it's the better one, or is it the other one?
it's
You haven't seen.
Hallmark. This didn't have any
Hallmark.
assault in it. Well, besides murder, but no assault of the female body, so it's not on Lifetime.
Right, right.
Hmm.
But I mean, it had that thing where it was like, it's ridiculous rom com, cheesy, glorified stuff, and then some actual serious, brutal kills, like something you would see like in a Scream movie or anything of that genre. Like I Know What You Did Last Summer, or any of those type of movies. You're getting the best of those things, even if it is cheesy. You're smiling or laughing or going, "Oh man, that's so awesome! How you just got
Yeah.
killed." I mean, if you go into with that vibe, you're gonna be happy with this movie. Like you don't feel
Yeah.
like you wasted your money.
Well, I think the writing and the acting, at least for me, it makes it so it's not cringy. Because sometimes, like, movies try to do it where you're like, oh, wow, this is bad. Like, this is really bad. But even though it was so cheesy and like completely unrealistic, it's very like almost like a Hallmark movie dialogue with the Christmas ones, not like but like it's like cheesy like a Christmas movie from on Hallmark, but the characters are so endearing. I liked them. Like it it was I was okay with it. I was okay with the cheesiness. I was okay that it was being self-aware that it knew it was going hokey. And then like you said, whenever the kills happen, there's some pretty grody kills in here.
Yeah. No,
Oh God.
the wine one at the beginning.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I know we're gonna talk about our favorite deaths. That was the most gruesome in my opinion. Just because when stuff like that happens, a death scene is really impactful when you're thinking about how that feels and what's happening, but you don't necessarily. I mean, you see it, but like you don't see all of it. And that would be like the top one for me.
Mm.
Hmm. Same.
Yeah.
And it's just ironic that it's in the wine thing because I didn't realize what it was. I'm like, is that a washing machine? Like I, I knew that they were at a vineyard, but I'm like, what the fuck is she sitting in? Because there's like
Yeah.
water in it. Like, what's happening? And then I'm like, it's the wine crusher. It's
The
the grape
grape
crusher,
smushers.
the grape smoosher. And I'm like, oh, I love this.
And then the wine is called I Do, but Deaux.
Like a Bordeaux.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, this is so great. I love it. And I knew from then on out, like it's the whole time, the minute when it opened up with that song, I was like, oh, but it worked, especially when she kicks the Bluetooth speaker and you realize the song is playing because she's playing it while she's orchestrating her entire proposal. So, it all worked.
I thought it was a really strong opening. I was
Hmm.
seated and ready for the rest of it. And we meet what's their names? I know their real names, but Olivia Holt plays
Allie,
Allie and Mason Gooding plays
Yeah.
Jay.
Jay, Allie and Jay. And we meet them at a coffee shop and it's so cliche,
It's
Hmm.
everything.
It
but
is.
like it's supposed to be, which makes it work. and it was just and but I also so it's very self-aware, and it's like they're having their moment, and the barista's like, can y'all move? There's actually a big line, and they're like,
Yeah.
this no one really orders this," and the guy's like, actually it's a really popular order, if y'all can move it along, there's a line.
Oh,
uh
I could see you playing that part so easily.
oh, thank you.
Like, no, like honestly, like it kind of reminds me of your scene that you in your one movie that you're it's coming out or going to
Oh, spray bottom.
festivals. Yeah, like it has that like legit like you written all over it. The very sarcastic. Yeah, please go.
Yeah.
Just move on.
We don't
uh
have time for your nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah.
but honestly, Mason Gooding is so hot. Like,
He is very handsome, and he's got a very melodic voice. There's
yeah.
something about his voice and how he speaks too, because I didn't notice this about him in Scream, so I don't know if he's like playing up his character in this movie. But I'm like, he could be a leading man. Like he carried it well.
Yeah.
Nepo baby or not.
Scream wasn't that long ago, but I feel like in this movie he's playing a man, and Scream he's kind of playing like a teenager,
He's
and
like a
that
dicky, yeah,
and that
like a
might be the
dicky.
big difference. But he's just that man is fine, and Olivia Holt's really pretty too, but they make her kind of miserable, but like not in a miserable way, if that makes sense. Because she's very anti-love, and he's very much like, ooh, the stars are aligned, I'm in love, blah, blah, blah.
Did you guys like the best friend?
Oh, I when I first met her, I was like, I love her. I hope she doesn't die.
She doesn't get in trouble at all. Like the whole movie is pretty much like she's a side character you never have to worry about. Like she's never put in any situation. Even with her like mystery man, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of
Arthur?
like yeah, who has arthritis according to her. So there's no way he could easily run around and everything like that. But I had to ask because I know you two probably enjoyed it more than anyone probably in the movie. The clothes changing, pick a garment cliche every 90s rom-com slash just I
I
don't know.
actually didn't care for that. Thank you.
Stop. You didn't.
No, I was like, okay, whatever, hurry up.
I mean that makes
I-
sense.
It was cute. I mean, for me, like I think that this is this is a melding of Hallmark and horror, right? And so I like those scenes because you kind of it also helps you kind of forget that you're watching a horror movie. And I like there were so many times, even at the end of the movie, and I don't want to get into any spoilers or anything, like, you know, when she's sitting in the thing and she's sitting in her living room, she's thinking about him, you forget that you're watching a horror movie, which I think is so fun. And
Yeah.
then when it does happen, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot. But I'm like excited because there's some movies that you feel badly for the characters. Because there's a lot of movies that where you forget it's a horror movie. Like Eli Roth loves to do this, right? You forget you're watching a scary movie, and then they get captured and hostile, and you see Ole's head sitting on a table. So you're like, oh, I like Jolie. Like, fuck, like you feel bad. Like when the scary parts happen in the movie, in this movie, I think it's fun. And all of the kills are great. Like, I think they were pretty creative, unlike our Cupid movie. We had some creative, weapons, not just arrows. We had knives, we had machetes, we had a crowbar. Or a tire iron. What was that? What was that thing?
It's more of
It was a
a tire
tire
iron.
iron.
I don't
Yeah.
know things.
It was a
Okay.
tire iron, and also the grape squisher.
The grape squisher, the American flag,
Don't
Oh
forget the
yeah.
dildo.
Oh my God.
the
That was my
dildo.
favorite scene. That was my favorite scene is when she sees the dildo and she goes to put it away in the closet, and she sees the killer and screams, and she throws the dildo at his face.
Oh
That was so.
my God, no, you're gonna break it.
And that's another thing to its credit. It was actually funny too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, and it wasn't trying to be funny. I don't think it was overt. Like I think everything in there was genuinely funny.
Yeah.
It was just hokey enough to be cute and funny and have everything going for it. If it because I felt like what just came out that was like trying to be funny the whole time and I fucking hated it. I think it was the last Scream. And I'm like, why? Like that was too much. So I think that this had a nice blend of comedy to horror.
Yeah. No, I agree. Um, I will say this is probably going to be the end of a spoiler-free discussion because I have things to say now at the
Okay.
end. Uh, I realized I maybe it's just me, but I was like, this is kind of a different slasher where we're not introduced to a group of people and watching them getting picked off one by one. We're introduced to this couple who aren't a couple who are mistargeted because they had a fake kiss and they now are trying to go find the killer to help stop him. So there's not a lot of like, this is a group of friends, like Scream kind of, where like, they all get picked off one little by little. This is more,
Hmm.
and maybe that also helps with like making it feel like it's not just a horror movie because there's not like a constant stalking or killing or whatever. Um, this is a very strange role for Devon Sawa to play because I feel like he always plays like the good guy. And even though he's not a bad guy in this one, but like his little comment about like maybe you just need a man to whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. I was like, okay, it's a little,
Well, he kind of plays like a sleaze bag in the Chucky show, like the first season. So that's the twin brothers. So the one twin brother who's like a drunk and like gross and stuff
yeah,
that abuses the his son and then
gets
whatever
electrocuted.
gets electrocuted. Yeah. So I can see him playing these grittier roles, you know. Do I like that? No, because I like to just, he's Devin Sawa. Like I kind of that was my only disappointment. I wish we had more of him in this. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of strange to have him in the movie and like not really use him that much. I don't know. It was strange, but I get it. Like, you need the buddy cop side story. Uh, Lance, you said in your little video that your favorite death was going to be a spoiler. So, what was your favorite death in the movie?
It was when the whole Saint Valentine's where she gets
Hmm.
pushed into, because at that point the character is about to do something where the blood is related into the situation where she obviously had an issue with blood. So like, we were like, I mean, earlier on the at insult to injury, they actually murder said hard eyes, and then she throws up on him, which I thought was actually amazing because you rarely see, you know what I mean, because that's more likely to happen than
Yeah.
not, like as an actual person, if you had to go through something like that. I kind of enjoyed that, so that was a moment that I actually thought was like, oh shit, she
Yeah, I
just
thought that
threw up.
was funny too when she throws up on the killer.
Yeah, and you can see in Mason's face, or Jay, how he's like, nope, 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 don't throw up on me. Which I thought would have been even funnier if she had thrown up on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, where the scene where like you get the straw, which is being kind of like uh teased the whole fucking movie because you keep seeing the straw, and I'm like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, someone's getting murdered by that straw.
Yeah.
Like something's happening with that straw. Like somehow either somebody's going to be saved or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, she uses that, but I thought that was great. And then the fact that she pushes her back on the thing, and then you have like that realistic, like where she's struggling because she's got
Yeah.
like
The gravity.
up high. Yeah, and how that would, I mean, because that's more unlikely to happen. And then the similarity to the end of Valentine and how he is killed in history. I
Mhm.
thought that was really cool, and I thought it made a lot of sense. And the fact that she's the Valentine killer or Hard Eyes are one
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
spoiler, and a lot of other.
We already said spoilers beyond this point. Yeah, when they got stabbed with the straw in the face, I was like, well, there's the signature creator of Scream loves to stab people in the face. Uh, but this was going to be a 4-star movie for me if
Mhm.
they killed the killer at the drive-in and unveiled him, and they're like, "Who the fuck is that?" I don't know. I thought it was gonna be end. Like I thought it was gonna end. I was like, "That's funny. I like that." But
Yeah.
then it kept going, and that's like from that point to the end, I was like, "This is just Scream, the new Screams."
Yeah. I was just about to say that the ending kind of ruined it for me. I didn't need all of this backstory and exposition from these killers and what they did. And, while I appreciate that we gave Jordana Brewster more to do
Yeah,
than Devon Sawa, um, which the whole Hobbs and Shaw thing was pretty cute. I thought that was
that was
funny.
funny.
Well, I appreciated that. I just didn't, I don't need it. I honestly thought it could have just been her. Like, if it was just her, like, why do we need this other idiot there? I mean, if not just to put the arrow, the way he stabbed him in the face with the arrow, I thought was great.
Yeah.
But, like, really, the IT guy, like, I'm supposed to believe this idiot is like, I don't know. I was just, it was reaching a lot for me. And I think the one thing that works with Scream is that when the killer is revealed, you're with that killer enough to where, you mostly didn't see it, because I always feel like, at least for parts 1 and 2, like right off the bat, I feel like everyone like guesses it's Stu.
Yeah.
Like, I remember everybody thinks it's Stu because he's such an idiot, but like he's never around when people are being killed, right? And like
Hmm.
Billy is, but then you realize, oh my God, there's two killers. Oh my gosh. So then in Scream 2, we have two killers, and everyone's always like, for me, I'm like, oh my God, it's Timothy Elephant. Like, I just knew it was Timothy Elephant. And then turns out to be Aunt Jackie too at the end. But like,
Hmm.
you're not, you're not, you're shocked, but you're not surprised. And like, I like that. With this, like, who the fuck are these people? Like,
Yeah. The only one you really know is Jordana.
yeah, exactly. And then we
Yeah.
have to have a whole long story about where the third one came from, which I think it's nice that they killed somebody and somebody else came back, but after that they lost me too, because I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I caught this kind of, and I don't know if this is just because they're trying to do it, but the fact that at the end we're saying, oh, we're a thruple, and they're like, oh, who was the one we killed at the thing? They said, oh no, he's just a fan. So it leaves it open that maybe when they said thruple, that means there was an actually third person that was actually closer to those two. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? As an actual, there's another person, there's a fourth person out there, maybe in Boston or Philly, or wasn't there because they're busy murdering someone somewhere else, or whatever the case might be. Um, and they got caught up because they saw the kiss, which I thought was ironic that that if they hadn't done that because she was so jealous of her ex, that her ex and his girlfriend would have been the ones they would have actually murdered.
Yeah.
It's just ironic.
oh, with her
But
bad
it
nose ring. Ugh. It looked
it
like a
was kind
giant
of
booger. Sorry.
it was kind of cute though when like even though it was like a fake kiss, like the chemistry was so strong that it like triggered the killer's need to kill that romance. I was like, oh, that's cute. It's romantic, even though it's not really supposed to be. But other than the little flaws it had, I think this is just one of those movies that you have fun with. I don't, it's not
Mhm.
trying to break any molds. It's not trying to, win any accolades for anything. It's just fun. And we have two-ish staple Valentine's Day horror movies, Valentine and My Bloody Valentine, the original. Uh,
Mhm.
and I think this one is good enough to be up there with both of them. It's definitely better than the Bloody Valentine remake.
I like the My Bloody Valentine remake though. And I didn't like it when I initially seen it, but I rewatched it last year and I was like, actually, this is pretty good. It had a lot of good kills. It's basically early 2000s, right? I mean, obviously we're gonna have that the 2000s tint to it, right? But at the end of the day, I didn't think it was that bad. This one I think can hold up with the other ones. And then I thought it was cute because the one of the guys that they focused on in the drive-in that was like, "Oh my God, someone call 911." That's the director of the movie. So he put himself in it. So that's adorable. Josh
Oh,
Ruben, everybody.
Nice.
41. Also directed Werewolves Within and Scare Me.
oh, Werewolves Within is good.
Yeah, I like that one guy. That comedian, he's funny. Anyway, so yeah, just a little tidbit. I think it could hold up with the other two. I wish we had more Valentine's Day movies.
Just Cupid.
I know. Well, we've got Cupid.
uh,
I know we have Cupid, but I feel like there's a lot more we could do with the holiday that people haven't really capitalized on yet. I think Heart Rise is a great new entry into it. It would kind of be nice to see because if you think about it, the My Bloody Valentine reboot is actually a sequel.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to see like another, like, oh, he's back. Because I like the Miner. I think the Miner is my favorite, in my opinion.
Well, there should be a
Did you
versus Minor versus Hard Eyes.
right?
Oh
Mask on
yeah.
mask.
And then
Did you guys like the tropes of the romantic comedy where she's like her best friend calls her and is basically the talker into going, I messed up, I messed up. You just go get her. You just go get him. Where is he? He's at the airport. Like I was like, oh my gosh, that is like the biggest rom-com moment of the movie. I thought it was like, and then she races to the airport, like it seems like several hours later because she was up to take a shower, lay there on the couch, watch a movie, have a snack. It's like
I actually
well,
didn't care for that part.
yeah, I feel like at that point the movie's almost over. Like I don't know why we have all this time go by. And then that's when I realized who the killer was because I'm like, okay, if he didn't get back to the hotel, we know who took him.
Yeah.
And why was she
yeah.
insisting on taking him, right? So,
I thought for a second, I thought, oh, this is going to go like a non-traditional route. And they're going to be like, we actually don't want to be together. And he was going to end up with the cop. Uh, but then as she kept kind of acting a little more psycho, I was like, oh, she's actually, this isn't over. She's the other one. And
hmm.
that's when I was like, I wish it would have ended when we uncovered the first guy and said, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, because they could have set it up that the killer was still alive and kind of, if they wanted to, they could do more with these two characters. But I also think it would be pretty strong sequel if we had all new people and just moved on, right? So we don't
Yeah.
need to keep following the same people.
Did you guys, or did you either one of you stay for the extra credit uh clip at
The
the end?
post-credit scene, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I
Did you,
didn't know there
Mikey?
was one.
Yeah, where they end up where
Oh, yeah.
oh, you did see it?
Well, it's because I forgot, but it's because you know how when the movie ends that the lights come up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The movie ended, the lights weren't coming on. The theater was really dark. And I looked at my friend and I was like, aren't the lights supposed to be on? And people were like getting up and leaving, but they had their flashlights on their phones. And I was like, is the movie not over? And like right when we stood up to leave, the mid-credit scene popped up.
Yeah, I
Nice.
was doing the same thing because I was getting up to go. And I'm like, oh, perfect, which was cute.
Yeah.
And the killer just it's obviously not coming back, but I thought that was cute. And I like that it incorporated the best friend in it. So, I mean, I think that they probably want to see, I'm assuming they're going to see how well this did. Did it do well at the box office?
I
I feel
actually
like
don't
it
know.
did.
I don't know,
I
but
mean,
while
maybe it's
you
hoping for a second hit of people for Valentine's.
yeah, but while you look that up, there was a cute picture that I forgot who posted, but it was all of the Scream cast from Scream 7. Nev Campbell, I believe Kevin William was in it too, but like everyone that's going to be in Scream 7 was at the premiere for not premiere, but like they all went to go watch it to support Mason. And I was like, "Oh, that's sweet," because he's going to be in Scream 7 too.
Mm.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't do well. Hard
Uh-oh.
Eyes. Yeah, it was an $18 million dollar budget, and in the box office, it made 8.5 million.
Well, it is the first weekend, so I
True.
mean, it's not a blockbuster hit, but it still has time to be a success.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
want
think
it to be
because of
successful.
Valentine's. Like, I think Valentine's. I mean, I think people are actually waiting. Like, they probably should have tried to get it closer to Valentine's, so they could have had a reason for people to like go see it. You know?
Mhm. Yeah, because it is a good date movie, even if you're not like a huge fan of horror. Like if you're like
Yeah.
if you like to watch horror movies on Halloween or something like that, you're one of those people, that's fine. You're gonna like this because it's a mixture of, romantic comedy and then, the gory and the slasher fun because it is a fun slasher. So it's not mean-spirited. It's not angry or anything like that. So I think most people could stomach it, even if you're not a traditional fan of horror.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys see? Or I'm actually mostly aid. Just because MegaCon actually had Matthew Lillard and uh what's his name? I always forget his name. Billy. Blah.
Kate Ulrich.
Yeah, they were both there at MegaCon, doing their thing. And actually, I think that this is more comic book, but Todd McFarlane was there too. So, but that's more me more me and Mikey comic book wise. But
I don't know who
actually,
MegaCon is.
so the
MegaCon.
MegaCon was last weekend, but I really didn't hear anything about it. In fact, the only reason I knew about it was because of Jenica's messaging me about it and asking if we were going. I'm like, I didn't even know it was happening. And then I found out that one of my favorite artists was there all weekend. So I'm sad that I didn't get to actually go and see, because I would love to meet him at some point, but whatever. Adam's Art Box, go ahead and give him a follow if you guys haven't already. Lance does not care for his work, but I love it. And I just got my Nosferatu in, so I have to hang him up. He looks so good though, with his mustache.
Well, at any rate, the film, 95% of it was a 4-star. Because of the last 15 or so minutes, it was a 3.5 for me. What say you guys?
I would say I would give it 4. It was entertaining enough. I wouldn't give it a 5 out of 5, only because, like you said, it did drag at the end, and that's my only problem with it. So,
yeah. What about you?
Yeah.
Lance?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good, fun movie to go to. So I would give it a solid 4. I think you're absolutely right with the sense that after a while, you're like, okay, we get it. Just let's get on with it. And then even the little hidden scene afterwards where they do the thing, it's like, did you need to do that? Did we have to have the moment where like your friend plays a joke on you and that you think there's going to be another, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, at one point you're like, and like you said, like, I thought it was funny because it was such a rom-com thing to do for the airport thing.
Yeah.
But was it needed? Probably not so much. You know what I mean? I mean, were you just trying to finish the whole rom-com vibe until you got to the horror part of things? You thought that was going to be a good, bridge to get to it. So I definitely think it could have been a 5. But I mean, I definitely think if you want to take your date to this, or it's fun. I mean, and you could probably watch it more than once. It's probably a good every year thing, for just something fun.
Yeah.
So,
no, I agree. I think it definitely has rewatchability because even though there's the ending drags, what makes it worse is it drags and it's not even a long movie. I think it's like an hour and 24 minutes. So like to say that it feels like it's dragging towards the end kind of is you may have wanted to revisit that last scene.
Yeah, because the momentum of the film is just so great and like is great, and
that's Stella.
Yeah.
Who else would it be, Lance?
I don't know. I mean,
Well, anyways, the moment, yes, Dan is barking right now. The momentum of the film is so great, and it's quick and it's fast paced and it's fun and it's exciting, and then you get to the end, you're like, So I think that that's where it falls flat at the end. So that's just me. I mean, I'm sure somebody loved it. I'm sure somebody hated the whole fucking thing. Whatever. Let us know what you guys thought in the comments as soon as you watch it, and hopefully you see it soon. Sorry about Stella.
Yeah, everybody, we love it. We recommend seeing it. Well, maybe not love, but we liked it. We recommend seeing it. But with that, that's a wrap on this week's episode. If you want to see our faces while we ramble and Aid tries to hush Stella and figure out what the fuck Lance is saying, you can check us out on our videocast at youtube.com/slasherspodcasts. Plus, don't miss our bi-monthly deep dive into all things horror nerdy at the Comic Chop only on YouTube. We'll be having a super sweet Valentine's Day edition coming soon. It is a hot collab with the hot Joe from Much Ado About Nerding. We want exclusive content, or if you can't get enough of us. Yes, I call Joe hot, everybody. Calm down, Jesus. Join our Patreon for monthly exclusive reviews, bonus episodes, and some killer new perks. Head over to patreon.com/slasherspod and become part of the band. Street team, if you want to rock some slasher swag, our merch is available on Redbubble. Wear your support loud and proud at slasherspod.redbubble.com, or if you like one of the shirts that we have where it just says Slashers Podcast and bloody VHS letters, you can message me on Instagram and we can set up a arrangement for me to send you one. If you want to hang out with us online, you can find us at Instagram, /pod at everything podcast related, Mutant Goons from Beyond for all things weird and wonderful and also podcast related. If you want to yell at us directly, you can find us on social media, Aid at Pathologically ADE, me at Horror and a Half Shell, Lance at Zombie VS Hate. And if you can't figure out the devil box known as Instagram, then find us on Facebook and come chill with us in the Mutant Goons from Beyond Facebook group. Shout out to our B Movie TV family. Catch Doug on Friday Night Action and Yahira on Saturday Night Terrors, only on Roku. If you're new to the show, B Movie TV is a Roku channel that shows all the fun B horror films and sometimes porn that our friends Doug and Yahira host little B movie horror movies and action movies on. A big thanks to our amazing Patreon members, Josh Gunn, Dinosaurs Will Always Be Awesome, Laureen Ellis, Eight's Mom, Kevin Leamy, Vladimir Luis, Leslie Thurman, and Cam. If you want to join them, head over to patreon.com/slasherspod and become part of the horror family. And as always, thank you for listening. Remember, stay spooky. Goodbye. Don't die.
Bye.
Die.